Hey guys, it's Gretchen Fleener here from Paintertainment.com, and today I'm just doing this video in response to a lot of you who have asked for a demo of this new brush that I just got that I will have in stock here tomorrow. It sounds like they'll be here, but a lot of you wanted to see a demo of how I actually use this, so that's what we're going to do here today. As you can see, this brush is about 2 inches wide. I use this in place of sponges when I don't want to end up with a pile of sponges to clean at the end of a gig. I'm just one of those artists who prefers brushes to sponges. I know not everybody's like that, but if you're like me, this is something that I enjoy doing just to help cut down on all the cleanup of sponges. The brush is almost as long as the cake, but when you press down on the bristles to load your brush, it spreads just wide enough to get every color in the cake. Now, some of you have asked to get a better look at the bristles. I realize the photo that I have online has white against white, and it's hard to see these. So I'm going to show you my own brush against a dark background so you can see it a little better. Here are the bristles. You can see mine are a little bit stained because I've used this brush. But here are the bristles. Mine is a little wet because I just washed it, so they're kind of separated, but you can push them together, bring it to a point if you want. It's a little bit feathered on the end. They are stiffer than most body painting brushes, which is something that you'll either love or hate, depends on how you work. It's totally personal preference. I like a little spring in my brushes just because they keep their shape and they're more durable. But it also does make it a little harder to get in those little cracks and crevices. So I'm going to try doing just a real quick simple butterfly. Please bear with me. I don't consider myself amazing at butterflies, but hopefully this will give you an idea of how this works. So I'm going to start by just dipping my brush, just like any other one-stroke cake. Dip it in your water and then kind of pat off the excess, and then load it just like any other one-stroke brush. I got a little too much water in there, but you can see it's just the same process, just a little wider. So the specific strokes you make will depend obviously on the style of butterfly you do, but just to give you an example here is how I would start a butterfly. So, I mean, you can't smoosh it into the corner as easily as a sponge, but what you want to do is just kind of rock it down into the corner of the eye. It's all about just how you hold and use the brush. Same as a sponge. Takes a little getting used to. So I would just go like this, one little swoosh. And then your bottom half of your butterfly, depends on, again, what your butterfly design is. But just to show you what you can get from a brush versus a sponge, I'm going to do kind of a scalloped shape. Sometimes I just do like a big teardrop. You can start here and just swoosh out to get just a big rainbow like up above. But one thing you can get with this brush is more of that one stroke design of, having the colors follow your brush. And then, you can just touch up the corner there however you like. Doesn't look super fancy right now, but you can go back and clean it up with your outlines, just like any other butterfly. But now I'm able to rinse my brush and use it again instead of going through sponge after sponge. So next I would dab on a little glitter. I'm going to use my new little glitter spray bottles for this one, just to give it a little bit of glitz, and then you just go about how you would finish off any other butterfly. Take your round brush and do the outlines. So, I mean, this is just kind of the start of a butterfly, but it kind of gives you an idea, general idea of how it would work for a butterfly. They are kind of pricey. I paid $35 for my brush at an art supply store. I'm actually selling them for $25 in my store, Paintertainment.com. So you can pick one up there starting tomorrow. They should be in my hands and ready to ship. Now, this is not going to completely replace your sponges, but I really only take 2 or 3 sponges to me at any job for certain designs, and I use my brush actually a lot more. But it's something fun to try if you are not a big fan of sponges, or you just want to really reduce your kit size and bring just one brush you can rinse instead of a whole pile of sponges that you need to wash. So here are a couple of different shapes you can achieve with this brush for a butterfly, the same on the top that I just did on myself. And here's an example of just a simple shape for the bottom, and then you can get that kind of scalloped look with a brush that you can't really get with a sponge. So when I do a tiger, for example, I like to use a lollipop blender with a little white star blend or Mirror Intense Pro Powder, and I cover the eyes and nose and do the muzzle and all that first with powder. It's just the way I prefer to have powder around the eyes versus paint. And this is not going to show up great because plastic, you know, on a face that would be whiter. But I would lay down my white powder and then load up my big brush with my tiger cake. And this cake, of course, has white on one end. So just keeping that in mind, I line up the white with where I have white powder already. And just with a swoop, you can get all those tiger colors. You can add a little something for ears here. You can come back and clean this up with our line work. This would blend better with the white if it were on skin, but my boys are at school right now and I wanted to get this video out to you, so my head will have to do today. Just works really well to fill in those large areas and still give you a gradient. So imagining this a little wider, you can come in and do all of your tiger details, some ears. And again, tigers are not my strong suit, but we'll paint on some of the details here to give you an idea of how you can go back and just clean it up and define everything with your details and line work. So whatever you typically do for a tiger, you just do the same. And you can get the same basic overall look in the end by using a brush. And your whiskers and a little glitter. So that's how I do cats with a big brush instead of a sponge. So another great application for the wide brush is when you're doing those big forehead designs with it that has a large background. For example, if you're doing Halloween designs and you have, you know, a moon, night sky in the background, and you want to add black trees or gravestones, things like that. You want to normally use a sponge to cover the forehead with that background. So I'll give you a quick example here on my head again. I'm just loading it up with Superior Sunset Cake. This is perfect for doing beach designs, which we all know are popular. But again, just load it up, one swipe across, and you have your sunset. You can go back over it again if you want it blended a little more, just like you would with a sponge. Only instead of dabbing it, you are stroking it over again. And there you have a sunset background. A little glitter. And this is drippy because plastic. This is not skin, so it does not behave quite the same. But yeah, this gives you a perfect backdrop for a beach scene. You can let it dry a little more and get your palm trees, whatever else you put in your beach scenes. Maybe you can have a dolphin flipping out of the water and a moon, whatever. But another application for just covering the forehead really quick with a gradient. So I hope this helped answer some of your questions. If you have more, feel free to email me at gretchen@paintertainment.com. Like I said, I don't have my kids here to be my guinea pigs right now, but I didn't want you to have to wait too long for this video. So future videos, I'll try to come up with some step-by-step designs that utilize this and paint on an actual kid so you can see it in action on a live canvas. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.